Alright, so after, like 2 months since my last video, and like a year since well, obviously a year since our best and worst of last year, but that was like the last thing I did before my Rise of Skywalker review.
Yeah.
So, we're back, 2 months late to do our, just like last year, even though even later now, to do our best and worst of the year videos. We finally found a time to do it. We're just gonna do it in the car. So, we're going to start off with our worst list. This could be a good time. Okay, I guess I'll go first in this case. Let's see. So, for dishonorable mentions, we'll do dishonorable mention to number 10 like we did last year.
Okay.
Alright, dishonorable mentions, we got Trading Paint starring John Travolta. Mine are all going to be like shitty like VOD movies. Escape Plan 3, The Extractors. The Gallows Act 2. Unplanned. Somehow that didn't make it on here. And Jexy. I'll leave it at that, yeah. And, yeah, all masterpieces. Let's see. So, my number 10 is After. You remember me telling you about After?
Yes.
With Hardin Scott and Tessa Young? Ah, yes. I saw this shit in theaters.
Isn't it like 50 Shades fan fiction?
No, yeah, actually, yeah. Was it? I think it was 50 Shades fan fiction. Or it was like, I know it's also One Direction fan fiction, but I think 50 Shades had something to do with it. I think it's like a mix of those two. Yeah, and like, because it's trying to have this like really mysterious, like, Hardin Scott, he's a troubled man, he has a really dark past. And like, when you find out what his past is, really, it just, to sum it up, it really is just, oh, his dad was an alcoholic. That's about it. His dad was an alcoholic, and I think his mom left him or something. And I was like, wow, what a terrible secret. Oh, at least 50 Shades of Grey, he was into BDSM. It was something. It was something different.
And I hear this is like it's just like a watered down, like even more watered down than the 50 Shades movie, so it can target young adults.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, God, no, yeah. Half the movie is just, like, slow motion, like, make-out montages and bad pop music. And the main character's saying really sappy shit. And, like, the last scene of the movie is, like, Hardin Scott monologuing after they had their big dramatic third act breakup. Like, they don't even really show them getting back together at the end, but it's just kind of like, he's monologuing, he's like, I once said that, like, I didn't know it was important or something, like, or like nothing is important in life or something, and like, I found out what's most important to me. It's you. And it cuts to black, and that's the end of the movie.
Oh, God,
it's
that
beautiful.
Sounds horrible.
Oh, God, no, it's awful, and I saw this in a theater full of, like, just nothing but girls.
But I think it bombed, didn't it?
Oh, no, yeah. It bombed horribly.
Nice. At least it bombed.
No, yeah, there is that, even though there's no way we're
It sucks when, like, bad movies make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I hate.
Cough. Jurassic World 2. Cough. Actually, there's a lot more in it. So, anyway.
And now it is my time for my dishonorable mentions. I don't have too many. My dishonorable mentions are It Chapter 2, the Child's Play reboot, The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot, 5 Feet Apart, Lords of Chaos, The Goldfinch, The Dead Don't Die, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, and then my number 10, and I know a lot of people like this movie, but I really hated this film, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Where do I even begin with this one? I gotta start with the obvious. The acting in this movie is fucking terrible. And I don't even know who this film was made for. Like, it's too extreme for, like, 12, 13-year-olds.
Yeah, it is a little
But it's too tame for, like, you know, like, adults. It's like, who the hell is this film even made for? The acting... Well, I already talked about how awful the acting is. But, like, just the way it was shot, it looked like shit. There were certain scenes that you couldn't tell that were shot during the day, but they color corrected it in post to make it look like nighttime, and it just made the film look like shit. There was, like, no tension whatsoever. I think there was, like, one scene in the hospital that actually...
That is the best scene in the movie.
That's the best scene in the movie, but to me it was, like, the only good scene in the movie, because the dialogue and the acting were just unforgivably horrible.
The dialogue's pretty bad. The acting's hit and miss. I thought the movie was fine, I guess.
Yeah, if I
It
don't,
gets worse though when I think of it.
if I don't have more to say about these films, it's because I tried to forget.
No, that's
how
just it. I have to I've repressed it, so it's like bringing back a bad memory.
Right.
Like I have blanks that aren't filled in because I just kind of repressed it.
Right.
Now I'm bringing it back to the surface.
Like, you just want to forget all about it because of how miserable experience it is. But yeah, that's my number 10. I'm not going to dive too deep in it. Everyone thought it was fine. I thought it was awful. But hey, that's just me. All right. And then now for Jeremy's number 9.
Number 9. I do remember my number 9. That'll be a fun one. All the most fun bad movies are at the top of my list, which is really just 10 and 9. Number 9 is Black Christmas.
Oh boy!
Oh my god!
How is that not in your bottom 5?
I don't know. I didn't even think it was going to make my top 10 at one point, but I was like, how? How can this not make my top 10?
I hear it's not even a movie. It's just preachy,
Oh no, yeah, that's exactly what it is. No, it's marketed as a slasher movie. Barely anyone dies in this movie. It's not a slasher movie. It's just a bunch of feminist propaganda, but not even good feminist propaganda. It's just the whole movie is men are horrible, men suck. Oh my god, men, we need to rise up against the evil men. And then there's this cult of men who are we need to put women behind us. They need to look up to us like we're gods, and women are awful, and this god. And then just the whole climactic women finally beating up the men and doing what is right. All men are horrible. Yeah, at the end. That's the movie.
And for the record, we're not against films that are pro-feminism. There are a lot of great female empowerment films out there.
I like Captain Marvel.
Kill Bill, Portrait of a Lady on Fire is a very
Midsommar's a
feminist piece. Yes, Midsommar's a great one. Jean Dillman. There are a lot of great feminist pieces out there. Oh, yeah. But you have to have subtlety.
Yeah. This is as subtle as a fucking baseball bat to the skull. Fuck. They just bludgeon it over your head. I don't know how some of the dialogue in this movie was actually written by a person. I don't know. It's just I can't think of a specific line. But all the dialogue when I was saying oh, men are horrible and shit, that's pretty much the dialogue. Just imagine that for an hour and a half and you got your movie pretty much. It's so fucking tame too.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Even as it's as I said, it's not really a slasher movie, but if you're trying to be that, it's not even good at that because it's all the deaths. It's someone gets someone will get a bag put over their head, they suffocated, and they'll cut away before anything happens. It's as simple as that, and then you just assume that person died. It never really shows you anything else past that. It's that kind of thing. So yeah, it's disguised as a slasher movie, but it's just really bad, preachy feminist propaganda. And fuck. I thought I would have more to say about it, but once again, it's one of those things I just tried to forget about it.
Yeah.
And we're so far removed from the year now that I just
This is another one that's, to me, probably not nearly as bad as Black Christmas, but still what I consider to be a pretty awful movie. And this is another one I'm going to get flack for, because I know a lot of people like this movie, including you. Ready or Not.
Oh, I do like that movie,
I really fucking hated this movie. Once again, it tries to have a pro-feminist message, but it's not very subtle about it. And the acting, I get it's supposed to be a satire, but it's not even a clever satire. Everything is very on the nose, and all the acting in this film is just way too over the top and way too cartoonish.
Sure.
Not to mention, it's some of the... I think, the only thing I can praise about this movie is, I don't know, the production design, because I really didn't like any of the acting in the film for the most part. Samara Weaving was fine with what they gave her,
was good.
But overall I thought the script was shit. And the ending of the film actually had the balls to rip off Rosemary's Baby. The whole shit of them, hailing Satan at the end. Yeah. It's oh, you gotta be
I like the end of this movie, though, because
me.
the direction they take it in, the last 2 minutes I actually really enjoyed.
I don't mind, over-the-top splatter fest or anything, but I think there has to be some kind of wit to it. And I feel with Ready or Not, there's not really any wit at all driving the film.
Fair enough.
Not to mention, the twist that happened in the second, into the first to the third act, it was just so fucking obvious. I was waiting for them to reveal it.
Yeah, I predicted it too,
yeah. Yeah. And what's funny is it actually uses like one of the songs from A Clockwork Orange.
It does,
It's like, all it made me want to do was go watch A Clockwork Orange. Because I'm like, why I could be watching A Clockwork Orange instead of this shit. Yeah, but I really hated that movie. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people liked it, but I couldn't stand it.
I say it was in Jeremy Johnson's top 5 of the year. That was like, woof.
That says nothing to me.
Well, I'm just saying for an example of why people who like it.
Yeah.
Number 8's another one that should be like way lower than it is, but somehow is not. John Cena's Playing with Fire.
Oh God! Thank God I didn't see this
that
one.
Beauty. Fuck. From the moment this is like, I saw this ironically with a friend of ours, and we went in and like we just wanted shitty, just dumbass fun, like just awful, just laugh at it kind of fun. It starts out with Uptown Funk, the Uptown Funk on the soundtrack. I'm like, yes, we're in for a ride. This is gonna be amazing. It just, fuck, it gets so fucking boring after the first 5 minutes. Like, it starts out and you're like, yes, this is the exact kind of awful bad I want, or awful fun I want. And then after that, just fucking just snooze fest. And then like John Cena's arc in the movie is like he's never cried. So, like, at the end of the movie, of course, he has to cry, but he's not even crying. It's like his eyes are completely dry. But, like, they're telling you he's crying. It's just like, I don't know why I'm crying. It's like how I'm doing analysis. I don't know why I'm crying. Oh, no, I'm crying. Look at me. It's like that. It's so fucking... It's a shitty Nickelodeon movie that somehow made it into theaters.
And I hear, like, him and, what's her name? Greer,
Oh, Judy Greer.
Judy Greer have no chemistry whatsoever.
Oh, no, yeah, no. Poor Judy Greer. Like, I really like her, but she just picks the shittiest fucking movies to be in.
Yeah.
God, no, yeah. And then, yeah, just half the movie's John Cena shirtless, and then shit jokes, and yeah, it's that kind of movie.
It's like bottom of the barrel, like, almost like Sandler at his worst type
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Actually, I would compare it to, like, Little Nicky or something.
Oh, God, that sounds...
Jack and Jill. Even though I almost would prefer to watch those, though.
I mean, at least with Jack and Jill, you got Dunkachino, so
exactly.
at least there's one good joke in it.
It's like Al Pacino is at least trying in that movie. He's kind of fun in that he's just playing it so fucking stupid.
I hear like the only one that tries in Playing with Fire is Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, he tries. He's not given anything. He's just bland.
Right, him and John Leguizamo.
Yeah, John Leguizamo is actually just annoying because they give him like this running gag in the movie, and I can't remember what the fuck I think it was like something along the lines of he says something and like they're like, oh, that's not how that works, and then he keeps doing that. Like he'll say like, oh, that's that, and like that's not how that works, and that's the running gag. It's something like that. I can't even fucking remember the exact details.
Oh man, that sounds insufferable.
No, yeah, I don't even know how they got a theatrical release, but you know, that's how it be.
All right, so for my number 8. A film that luckily bombed in the box office, Terminator Dark Fate.
Oh, I like that movie a lot.
I know, you
Why
like
are all your fucking movies on your worst list movies I like? Well, let's see the rest of this.
Don't read them all.
Fuck, half of these are movies I like. Well,
you like everything. It's hard to piss you off.
I don't like everything.
Well, you like a lot of movies.
I like a lot of movies. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm easy to please, but I'm not like hard to please.
I don't know. I'd say I'm pretty hard to please. Yeah, Terminator Dark Fate. Oh my God! In the very first 5 minutes of this movie, there's literally a middle finger to all Terminator fans out there.
No, yeah, that is one of those things that'll make or break the movie for you.
I hated that, but beyond that, the movie is just extremely boring. It's a big-ass action set piece after another. And the entire time you're watching it, you can see the green screen special effects behind... I mean, you can see the green screen behind all the actors. Like, you don't buy or believe anything that's going on. And all of the... Oh, God. The protagonist was so fucking bland. They literally gave her nothing. Like, the characterization was so weak. It was literally nostalgia bait. That's all it was nostalgia bait. Because the film itself is just a retread of T2.
It is.
And, oh God, Arnold and what's her name? Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
A lot of people said they were the best part of the movie. They were just phoning it in. It felt like they were sleepwalking, especially Arnold. And the whole thing with him turning out to not be the same, like, what is it, T100, T800?
T800, yeah.
Yeah, T800, him being a different T800 named Carl, and that all of that stuff.
I loved that.
That was just insufferable to watch. I'm like, this is so incredibly stupid. But I mean, what do you expect from a mainstream big dumb action movie?
Oh, I had a great time with Terminator.
I hated it.
I'm a big
so
fan
much.
of the franchise, so I'm not like just saying that.
Just for a frame of reference, I didn't even want to see this movie.
I didn't either.
My mother wanted to see this movie.
My dad wanted to see it, but I actually ended up really liking it.
We were both falling asleep in the theater. We really regret coming to see that film.
But
what's done is done, though.
Man,
I don't really have much to say about it.
That's
the thing.
You gotta start watching the shitty movies like me.
I like talking more. That's the thing. Is like awful films like the films I have on my worst list. They don't give me too much material because I don't like. Just like I don't like watching bad movies, I don't like talking really about bad movies. I like praising good ones, you know?
Sure, yeah.
But
so yeah, because I see a lot. See, I say it's not that I like everything; it's that I see more. I see fucking everything. So all the movies on my worst list are movies that he's never seen because I just watched all the bottom of the barrel garbage.
Yeah, and you know me, it has to be like art house, like A24 or Neon or something.
Which
like
I love all that too, but yeah, it's just I will watch anything.
Here's Jeremy's number 7.
Oh, yeah, number 7. Oh my god, yeah, okay, number 7 is a movie that no one's heard of, I bet, because I just found it, I think, on VOD or something. I was like, fuck it. Trauma Center, starring Bruce Willis. One of Bruce Willis's direct-to-video movies.
I hear this is one where he sleepwalks throughout the entire movie.
Oh my god, like, no, yeah, you were complaining about Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Fuck! No, Bruce Willis, every line is just, oh yeah, that was the thing. Oh, I'm in this movie, fuck. What was my line? I'm on my way. Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing. Even like when he's supposed to be big action Bruce Willis towards the end, it's just kind of like, yeah, I have a gun. Yeah, put her down. That's the movie. And he's not even in it that much. It's actually the main character is this Taylor Schilling lookalike. Who's, I guess she's fine with what she's given for a direct-to-video movie, but like, she's bland as fuck. Her backstory is like, it's another like generic dead mother thing, and like, her sister's in like the hospital, and there's these bad guys who want like, I forget what the hell was this movie's plot? Fuck. They wanted like something from her, and they're using her sister as bait to get it from her. I can't remember what the hell this movie was even about.
Generic action movie plot.
What was it even? Yeah, it's like pretty much a generic action movie plot, and that there's not even any action really in the movie.
Oh god!
Like the last 5 minutes of the movie, yeah, Bruce Willis was holding a gun, but like that's about it. That's that movie.
All right. Again, another movie. My number 7. Another movie that's gonna get me tarred and feathered one day. Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Damn.
I think it's safe to say Kevin Smith really only makes films for his fans. And I used to be a Kevin Smith fan before, I really got into film and really started appreciating film as an art form. And I just found this film egregious. Like, it's just bottom of the barrel, pandering, comedy bullshit. Just so many references to pop culture. References to pop culture and Kevin Smith referencing previous movies. It's just so self-referential. It is meta, but I don't think it's very clever. I don't think it's very clever, and it's its attempt to be meta. I just think it just comes off really obnoxious, and Kevin Smith being Kevin Smith. It's weird because I don't even really look at him as a filmmaker anymore. Like, technically, yes, he makes movies, but he just makes movies for his fan. I don't think he ever tries to make a good movie anymore. It's just like, oh, these characters are popular and I could use a quick buck. Let me just shit something out in 2 seconds. And that's really what this film felt like. And everyone's complained about his daughter, and yeah, his daughter's insufferable to watch. Literally all the jokes in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot are very similar to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. A lot of the jokes rely on, oh, it's this person, and that's why it's funny. Oh, it's Chris Jericho as a Klansman. That's funny, right? And it's like, no. The longer I watch this film, the longer I watch this film, and just talking about this film now, just, it literally drains me. Like, it exhausts me just to think about. I was literally bored, and Jeremy was like, hey, you want to come see this fan event?
Yeah, pretty much.
And, of course, I love hanging out with Jeremy because he's one of my best friends. So even though the film was shit, I was just happy to come hang out with them. But, yeah. it's still got to be my number 7.
That was another one. That was one of those movies where, like, I really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to defend it. Actually, most of these movies I will not defend, even the ones I do like.
Alright.
Because I don't review objectively, so...
Yeah, I do. I try to stay as objective as possible.
I like to be subjective, because I like just talking about my enjoyment. Even though I try to do a mix of both, but...
Alright.
Well, because most of these on this list are objective, so...
Here goes number 6 for
number
Jeremy.
6. Oh, fuck. This is a movie, too. I forgot I saw this until I just popped at this list. Primal with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, man.
The Cage Man himself, our God, our Lord and Savior, Nicolas Cage. He has fallen from grace. Fucking Primal. I don't even know why I watched. I think I was like, oh, Nicolas Cage in like a white Jaguar. That sounds amazing. He's like hunting this white Jaguar, whose worst CGI I've ever seen. Okay, maybe not going that far, but fucking awful CGI fucking tiger. And it gets loose on this boat, along with a bunch of other like exotic animals, and like there's like bad guys and shit, and who want to take the tiger for themselves because it's worth a lot of money. And they're like, oh, haha, we'll take it from you, Nick Cage. Haha, you're gonna die. That's the movie. That's another one of those. Just, I watched it. I was like, wow, this is fucking awful. And then I forgot about it.
And it's sad because Nick Cage, when he really tries, he can be such a great actor.
Nick Cage is amazing.
Yeah, he's
even in his worst movies, he's still having a fun time. Half the time. Depends on what movie you're watching. Whereas this, I don't even feel like he was having fun.
Yeah,
It's just a paycheck movie.
Yeah, because he has to pay back the IRS.
He has to pay back like all that money he spent on buying Superman #1. That actually is what like the 14 castles he bought. God, poor Nicolas Cage. Yeah, that's that movie.
So my number 6, another snooze fest that just bored me to tears. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Okay, now that's one I don't like.
Oh my God, this film was horrendous.
That was a bad one.
Oh God, everybody was sleepwalking throughout the entire fucking movie.
That movie was so fucking boring.
The acting was so stilted. The special effects looked like shit.
Yeah.
And the whole third act, it's like the way like I've heard some people build up the third act, trying to make it seem like it's Game of Thrones for kids. It's like it's so underwhelming and just
it's the most generic big scale action sequence ever.
Yeah,
like it's like we're trying to be big and epic and like Lord of the Rings, and it's like no, honey, fuck yeah. And Angelina Jolie's cheekbones just keep getting sharper and sharper. Ugh, yeah.
And it's funny because the way they pull Michelle Pfeiffer pulls a fast one over Angelina Jolie, it's like I don't believe this would have happened. I don't think I feel like I feel like she would have been able to see what was coming, but she just walked right into the trap, for plot's sake.
Oh yeah, of course.
God, That's the thing. I forgot the plot of this movie. All I know is it involved Michelle Pfeiffer, like being evil and trying to fuck over Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, that's about all I remember.
Because
she's like trying to make her look like she's bad still.
Yeah.
Or something, and
Angelina Jolie, her character literally goes through the same arc she did in the first movie, one. It's like, oh, I didn't see the first one, and I didn't even want to see this one.
I can confirm, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's actually better, which is the sad thing.
My niece wanted to see this movie, and I'm like, oh, okay.
This is actually the better one of the two.
Oh, God. Thank God I didn't see the first one then.
The first one's even worse.
Ugh.
At least I thought so. I don't know. This one's still fucking bad, but...
All right. I don't really have much to say about that one.
All right, let's try to rush these last few so we can get to the best one.
The ones we really want to talk about.
The ones I actually care to talk about. Okay, my number 5 is Norm of the North 3. King-sized adventure. Yeah, that's that. I'm kidding. I'll probably say something. Fucking Norm of the... Yeah, I mean, what do I have to say to justify that? Why is it... I don't know how it's as high as it is. It's a shitty Norm of the North sequel. Like, what...
And isn't it the best one out of the bunch?
It is the best one of the 3, yeah. Because at least these 2 and 3, at least they didn't try to be theatrical movies. They went straight to video where they belonged. And they didn't have Rob Schneider in them. So I guess they're superior to the first one, but... Still shit.
Rob Schneider said no to the Norm of the North sequel. Think about that.
Yeah,
Rob Schneider said no.
If he had come back, these movies would have been worse. I was just thankful we got just the most bland voice actor ever and not Rob Schneider. Fuck, yeah, that... I don't even remember what that movie was about.
He's got to make the Animal 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, God. I remember that movie. Oh. Ew. Okay, I go back to your number 5.
It makes you feel gross just thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I fucking hate Rob Schneider.
My number 5, and you saw this too with me. Where Did You Go, Bernadette?
I'm so mad that didn't make it on my worst list.
Oh.
That movie's fucking horrible.
That movie is so bad. It's egregious. It really is. Oh, man. And the fact that Cate Blanchett got a Golden Globe nomination.
No, that was the Please Don't Retire Cate Blanchett because she was threatening to retire after this movie bombed.
Yeah, and it's so sad because Richard Linklater was the director of it.
He's a great director.
And he's a great director. And you see this and you're like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know. What happened in this? Like, I remember, but I don't.
Cate Blanchett,
it was just all over the place.
She ran off from her family.
Yeah, like, she was an architect, and then, she was like, oh, I need to go live my life, and run off in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
No joke. Literally, there were scenes where characters would just open up their laptop.
Yeah.
And watch, PowerPoint, not PowerPoint, but...
Like, YouTube videos about, Like, the main character will watch YouTube videos about her own career and life, so we know about her career and life.
It was literally just exposition dumps.
Exposition, rush it out ASAP.
No joke, that happened, literally 3 different times in the movie.
Yep.
And the acting from Billy Crudup. Oh my God.
I didn't even realize it was Billy Crudup at first. That's how bad he was.
It's like, you were in Stanford Prison Experiment.
You were an Almost Famous, man.
Yeah, for real. And it's like, oh my God, he was horrible in this movie.
Nah, he's awful.
It was
a Hallmark movie dialogue, too.
Yes, it really was.
This was a Hallmark movie that somehow got a good director and good actors behind it.
Right. And somehow got Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, yeah, he was in this movie, yeah.
And he was there to provide exposition,
more exposition,
too.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, God, yeah, he's in one scene in the movie, if I remember right. God. So, yeah.
It was really insufferable.
That was a fun one to talk about, though, going out of the theater, though.
No joke, it was so bad. I was laughing during the movie. I literally had to walk out of the auditorium.
Yeah, he was laughing so consistently, he had to walk out and stand in the side to watch the last 5 minutes of the movie. Well, I just sat there laughing silently.
No joke, nobody else in the theater was enjoying their experience.
Oh, no. The woman in front of us was laughing because we were laughing.
Oh my God. All right.
I wish that movie had made my list. It did at one point, and then I just saw like Primal, I think, and like Trauma Center, and all those, and then just started going down. All right. Oh yeah, my number.
What's
4.
number 4?
Oh no, what is my number 4? Could it be Norm of the North 2? Keys to the Kingdom?
We're sticking with the Norm of the North.
2 Norm of the North movies on my worst list. Oh, that's beautiful. 2 of these things came out in a year. That tells you all you need to know right now. This movie, I'll say it's worse because this movie isn't even like, at least I don't remember what the plot of the third one was, but I remember it being one consistent plot. This movie is 2 different movies trying to, like, just... It was like they're trying to make a Norm of the North TV series, and this was like the pilot movie for it or something. So they made like 2 different episodes and strung it together and made it a movie. That's the best way I could describe that.
Oh my god.
Otherwise, it's just as shitty as the third one and the first one, I guess.
What production company even makes those shitty movies?
I don't know. Someone who doesn't want to be heard from ever again. Someone who's probably already gone under.
I'm sure these are just tax write-offs.
I'm sure, because like they keep making them. There's a 4th one coming out. Can't wait till next year's worst of the year list.
Who the fuck is watching these movies?
I mean, I am, I guess.
Alright, this is actually one that was amazingly bad, and I had to walk out of this film twice.
Yay!
My number 4 is Serenity.
Oh, yes. Oh, that masterpiece.
We can agree that this had the best twist of 2019.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, yeah. 100%.
The fact... Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this shit. The twist of Serenity is that everything that happened, it turns out it was all a video game.
Baker Dill is in a video game. His name is Baker Dill. Oh, God.
I want to talk more about this movie, but I can't stop laughing. Just the thought of...
funny. I had a freaking ball.
You could tell McConaughey was on so much coke while he was doing this movie.
Oh, no, yeah, like, just... All right. It's gotta... All right. I need my ass in this movie like 6 times.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of man ass in this movie.
Chain smoking in every scene. That was fucking... Yeah, that was
no joke. All this movie was horrible acting. Horrible acting, McConaughey's man ass, and chain smoking.
Yep. That
and then followed by the twist that it's all a video game made by a kid who has a very abusive, like, stepdad. Yeah. And it turns out his real dad was McConaughey, who died.
He died in the war, and now he's, like, programmed him into his video game as a character.
No joke, there's literally a character in the film, or should I say in the video game, named Rules. And he looks like a stereotypical Jewish
dude, yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, that movie's oh, yes.
Oh, and then Jason Clarke was a total fucking creeper in the movie.
Yeah.
He made, like, Anne Hathaway, like, choke herself and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is
like
this?
Your fishing rod.
Already. And that climatic scene where he gets fucking eaten by a shark.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That movie has stuck with me. I'll say that. It's been a year, but I still remember that movie.
Oh, I think that was the first movie I saw of 2019, and I was like,
it was like my 3rd.
Gonna be a great year for movies.
Oh, yeah. Serenity.
All right, going to Jeremy's number 3.
That was another one that should have made it on here, but didn't. Okay.
Number
3 is probably the most boring movie of the year, I'd say. Killer Man, starring Liam Hemsworth. Killer Man's just the most generic-ass title ever, so that just kind of tells you something right there.
He needs to take some acting tips from his brother Chris.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, yeah, this is just the most, like, it wasn't even like the worst, like the most poorly shot movie or anything. It was just so, like, it was poorly acted. It was so fucking boring. I've never fallen asleep in a movie in a theater, but I got so close. I was so close. Yeah. We're running out of time to do these, so we're just gonna stop it there. Killer Man's a shitty movie. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Because we're starting to... Yeah, we have 45 minutes. Okay.
All right. So for number 3, I don't even see how this is not my number 1. This is Ma. Ma was such a piece of shit. Octavia Spencer, I'm sure she was just there for the paycheck, but I'm pretty sure she was the only one trying in the film. The acting in this film is not just awful, but extremely awkward to watch. Everybody felt like they had no direction, and everyone just looked uncomfortable the entire fucking movie. And just like the climatic scene, like the payoff of like Ma stalking these kids, it was insanely moronic. I think like the film like thought it was so much like cooler and creepier than it actually was. But literally there's a scene where Octavia Spencer paints a black guy's face white and says there can only be one of us. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I enjoyed this one ironically for the most part.
I think this was a Blumhouse movie too.
It was.
Which explains a lot because Blumhouse just pump out shit, and this is no exception.
Blumhouse is always hit and miss for me because you'll get like a really good one like Glass or something.
Oh, they did Glass?
Yeah,
I like
Glass.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll get a good one like that, and then you'll get, like, Truth or Dare or something.
Yeah,
Or, like, this weekend's Fantasy Island.
Oh.
Which I'm actually almost excited to see because it looks so bad.
Ma's another one I just tried to repress out of my memory because...
Well, time to forget about Ma forever because we're starting to run out of time. We want to talk about good movies.
All right. Number 2.
What was it?
Oh, wait, I have to pull it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can remember. Oh, actually, no, I remember it. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah. My number 2 is Arctic Dogs. I have a weird theme of Arctic-themed animated movies on my list. This is a weird subgenre that pops up a lot. I don't know. Fuck. And this movie made it in theaters. That's why this is lower than the Norm of the North movies. Because this was in theaters. I watched this in a theater with people, and I was ashamed. Walking out of this movie, like, I did this. Like, because I didn't want any of the ushers to see me because I knew them. So I was like, I'm just going to walk out like that. I was ashamed to be in that theater.
I hear it's so boring.
It is whoa. My God, is it boring. God, just every stock, like, kids movie trope, shit jokes. The main character's name is Swifty the Fox.
Oh my God.
That tells you something right there. Like, I'm done talking about Arctic Dogs. I just want to get this list done.
All right.
So we talk about good movies. Yeah, good. Okay.
My number 2, I literally walked out of the theater on.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah.
My number 2 is Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell. I'm a fan of The Devil's Recheck.
I am too.
Rob Zombie is not a great filmmaker, but
it is not.
even a broken clock is right twice, or however.
Right twice a day, yeah.
Right twice a day. That's how the saying goes. Yeah, this movie, not only was it just horrendous in terms of, like, a horrible script, really bad acting, and just a very unengaging story, it was racially offensive. Because I don't easily get offended. But I am Hispanic. I may not look it, but I'm actually part Hispanic. And there's a scene, a big chunk of the film.
No, it's like the last half of the
movie. Last half of the film, the 3 main characters, the 3 from Hell, they travel down to like a village in Mexico. And the way Hispanics were represented in the film, it's just like really base level stereotype. No joke, like there was, all the villagers were wearing Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead makeup, even though it wasn't Day of the Dead. And the villains in the film were wearing fucking luchador masks with pentagrams on it. I'm like, not only is this a fucking a dog shit movie, but it is just so fucking offensive to watch. Just see Hispanics represented in such a, like, just to capture, like, all the base level stereotypes of Hispanics. It was just, And maybe it wouldn't bother me so much if the film was a little bit better, but the film was just so fucking uninteresting. And I emotionally checked out. Because like I said, I am a fan of The Devil's Rejects, but I thought this film was shit. And it was completely pointless. And the way they try to explain how they were still alive after The Devil's Rejects, after the ending of The Devil's Rejects, was nothing short of insulting.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't...
It should have ended with The Devil's Rejects. I do agree on that.
I don't want to talk too much about this film.
Yeah, we're running out of time, so let's just rip that Band-Aid off. I'm not going to talk about my number one that much. I'll mention a couple things.
The fact that it's racist.
yeah, my number one is Loquisha.
Oh my god.
If you haven't heard of this, I know it was like a meme movie for a while, but then it just kind of died for a good reason. This is a movie directed by a guy, I think his name is Jeremy Seville. This man brings shame to the name Jeremy. And any white dude named Jeremy. Because fuck, is this racist?
Ergo you.
Oh, God, yeah, exactly. No, so yeah, I am ashamed for the Jeremy kind. No. Okay, so this movie is about a white bartender who goes like one day, I can't remember if he wanted to be a radio personality or whatever. At some point he ends up in a radio station and he like has to fill in for someone and he does like something like that. And he does a segment that he calls Loquisha, and he does a black woman voice. The worst black woman voice I've ever heard in my life, by the way. This one passed for fucking... this sounds like fucking... You took Steve Urkel and ripped his balls off. Like, this doesn't even sound like a black person. I know Steve Urkel's black. The joke. Never mind. But anyway, I'm mad, so I'm making weird analogies. But... Fuck, yeah, okay, so, like, later on in the movie, like, this whole movie is basically this dude impersonating a black woman, like, giving people advice as a black woman. And then at one point in the movie, later on, like, there's this, there's a black woman in the movie, who he talks to at one point, and, like, he's giving her life advice like he does throughout the movie to everyone, because, he's a master. Literally, like, his advice literally kind of just boils down to the most simple, like, do what you like to do, have fun, yeah, be yourself. That's kind of, more or less, like, that's the kind of advice he gives. It's very shallow. It's not, like, anything really thought-provoking, but everyone's like, oh my god, you're a god, man. Like, Loquisha's amazing. And, like, yeah, okay, so...
Doesn't he say that he could be a better...
that's what I was getting to, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, when he's talking to this woman, he's like, yeah, he's basically just says, I'm a better black woman than you are. And it's just like, like, the movie was already dead, but, like, that's past the point of revival. Fuck, no. That was like, that movie fucking dug its own grave as it went on. That's my number one of the year.
Alright, so the worst film I've seen of 2019 is Curse of La Llorona.
And for a good reason.
Oh my god. You just think of, like, the most bottom-of-the-barrel studio horror film. One of the first things that pops into my head is Curse of La Llorona.
It's a terrible movie.
It is fucking bottom-of-the-barrel dog shit. I mean, the predictable jump scare, the horrible acting, the incredibly stupid script. My god, there were some character decisions in this film that I wanted to walk out of the theater. Like, I actually reviewed this on a different channel. Yeah. And if I didn't have to review this film, I would have fucking walked right out of the damn theater.
Mm. I don't blame you. I just remember being so fucking bored.
It was so incredibly boring. And the way they try to tie into the Conjuring universe, it's done laughably at best.
I forget it is a Conjuring movie because it's just such a shallow attempt at it was like, oh shit, we shot a movie that no one's gonna see. Let's just throw one tie-in scene to Conjuring.
I hear this is even worse than The Nun. I didn't see The Nun.
It is worse than The Nun, yeah. And The Nun is really bad.
That's really saying something.
The Nun is shit, but like, no, this is much worse.
I think the only thing I liked about this film was the one dumb joke from Tuco.
Tuco, yeah.
Yeah, where she's like, you use my daughter as bait, and he's like, no, I used your entire family as bait. That like funny, made me like burst out into tears laughing.
No, it was funny, yeah. Like, that was Tuco was the best thing in that movie.
Yeah, but even then he was still really bad.
He was bad. It's just like he was trying. He had that one good joke. That was a shit movie.
God, it was just It's just every, like, stock horror, you know, like, horror jump scare.
Yeah.
Just crammed into one movie.
All right. So that is our worst of the year list. We got to hurry up and make our best. So, yeah meet us there. Yeah, stuff. Yeah.